Tonight's top pundits, former senior Labour advisor Paul Richards, ex-Conservative MP Sir Michael Fabricant, and communications advisor, journalist and broadcaster Linda Duberley. What do you think about this? It's great to see you, Sir Michael. Your view on this forthcoming budget, is it the resurgence of socialism, the terrible idea that never dies?
Well, it's certainly terrifying. I mean, it's remarkable. I thought when Tony Blair got in '97, we'd seen the death of socialism. The argument had been won. But that isn't the case,
because New Labour was a social democratic model, wasn't it?
Well, yes. In fact, you know, they always say that the anagram of Tony Blair is Tory Plan B.
Well, that's exactly it. And was it the first 2 years of the first Labour administration they kept the Tory spending plans in place?
Yes, indeed. And they carried on in that tradition. Let's be in no doubt.
High rate of tax, 40%? For the duration
I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was.
I'll go back to Paul, he's got a longer memory.
At the tail end of Brown's government, I think it went up to 45, but that was a political move. But it was 40% top rate of tax under New Labour for the best part of a decade.
Well, I mean, going back even further, I recall when it was 98% tax. When, for unearned income, which is, you know, those people who've actually saved and made money through private enterprise. And then when Geoffrey Howe, I'm talking about a long time ago, Geoffrey Howe came in and he slashed that down to under 40%, everyone said, how can you do that? And you know what? He raised more money in the end because you didn't have the brain drain any longer. Yeah. And that's what we're seeing now. And the point that Linda made at the very end of what she was saying was very powerful. There's no one in the cabinet who have any business experience whatsoever. And that's the problem with our Chancellor of the Exchequer, a middle-ranking official in the Bank of England, and never run a business in her life.
Does it matter, Paul,
no,
if they don't have business experience?
I mean, there was plenty of business experience in the Liz Truss cabinet, wasn't there? Look what she did. She tanked the economy and put more business out of business.
Well, we keep hearing that time and time again.
Well,
let's not forget, but I mean, Rishi Sunak was a high flyer in the city, and he reduced inflation from something like 10 or 11% to 2%, and also saw economic growth that was number one in the G7.
And you know,
but not a great politician.
Wait, let Paul make his comment, and then we'll come back to you.
Well, not a great politician, though, was he? He may be good at business, but he absolutely...
great for the economy.
Absolutely loused up the timing of an election.
You can't go higher than number one in the G7, which was his legacy.
He got absolutely tanked in a general election that he called too soon. So a bad politician. He may be a good businessman.
OK, I mean, look, so go back to that.
Just on tanking the economy, the argument that Labour presented that we tanked the economy was because interest rates for government borrowing went up to 4%. It's now 4.5%.
Michael, there is a clear pecking order on the sofa. I've got to start with you, because you are Sir Michael Fabricant. Do you take my point about how the knighthood requires an individual of great distinction? And if you are a football manager representing the national team, I would expect at least one trophy.
I think that's right. I mean, I got my knighthood, not just because I was a Member of Parliament for 32 years and did various things there, but because I started a company with a friend of mine and we exported radio and television equipment to 48 countries around the world. So we did it for exports. But poor old Gareth Southgate...
So you brought national income into the country?
I did. But Gareth Southgate, what has he achieved? Very little, as you say. But you say it's the modern Britain. It's almost like ancient Britain in the time of the First World War, when hopeless people were made generals, sending the guys across the no-man's land, over the top, only to get slaughtered, and without any imagination. Now, I'm not saying I'm no footballer expert, you know. It's a bit like me talking about football is like Gary Lineker talking about politics. But at the end of the day, I just don't get it.
Yellow card.
I just don't. What's the yellow card? No, I do know. But
we'll do the offside rule next week.
Yes, I need that. I could never do that.
Have trouble with that, though.
I was good at running around at school with football, but I could never.
Can I just say,
know where
behave
to put
yourself,
the ball.
or we'll give you an early bath.
Ooh, I enjoy that.
Something very nice about Sir Keir Starmer. I think he deserved his knighthood. He was the top lawyer in the land.
Yeah.
OK? But my issue is it's the coming second. And I think, Paul, that other countries will be laughing at us if we knight him.
Disagree completely.
Yeah, especially, just think of the Italians, the Argentinians, the big footballing nations. They go, oh, they're giving him a knighthood for winning nothing. nothing. That's
I
going to be
don't think that's right.
But he wants to give him a peerage because isn't it true that Labour want to abolish the House of Lords?
No.
That's not what I...
Linda, last thought on this. Do you think